Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we react to RWBY, Volume 1, Chapter 4, The First Step. As with the other React to RWBY videos, this one will not be my traditional Let's Watch format/structure where it's me and the content in the same video so you can see my reactions in real time. No, what you'll have to do if you want to actually fully participate in this video is either have the RWBY episode open in a separate tab or window playing at the same time, or download it preemptively. What I will provide for you is a time code as the video runs, so you can like synchronize, the video with my reaction. Otherwise, it's just going to be me sitting here in relative silence, so you probably don't want just that. If the work is too much for you, I'm sorry, it's the best that I can do. You just gotta put forth some effort yourself. So far, these are my overall thoughts on RWBY as a series. I've enjoyed it because I've enjoyed seeing the characters interact and getting to know each other, and I'm already interested in seeing how their character development will go on. Like with Jean, I want to see more about his, being secure in his insecurity and actually see if he does achieve more of a heroic kind of status. I want to see more about why Weiss is such a butt so far. I want to see more about when Blake opens up to the other characters, and I want to see RWBY with more confidence. I don't really know about Yang so far because I've so far just seen her in her over peppy big sister kind of thing, which I like, but I don't know what development to expect from her so far. But I want to see that kind of stuff. But aside from that, I've been disappointed by the previous 3 chapters because, particularly chapter 2 and 3, because there was not a lot of substance to it. I don't need, like, fighting. I don't need combat, but I need to see some sort of plot progression, because so far, chapter 2 and 3, even though they were both Shining Beacon Part 1 and Part 2, all they were doing were introducing a couple characters. There was nothing else really to it. Like, okay, the most you could say was in, the beginning of, what was it, Shining Beacon Part 2. Pretty sure it was Shining Beacon Part 2, so Chapter 3, last one. At the beginning, there was a brief meeting where he was all like, "Oh, soon you will have initiation, like, knowledge is not enough, you have to take the first step." Oh, first step, that's what this episode, that literally just occurred to me. He said you have to take the first step. This is what Chapter 4 is called. So I guess that set it up, but it was such a brief thing, like, so small, even in relation to the episode being only 6 minutes long, that it didn't count for me exactly. Like, while it did help set up some plot, it wasn't enough in my mind. I still think that they really should have combined Part 1 and Part 2 into one episode, and even then maybe make it have a two-parter, or make it be a two-parter, where the first step was instead like Shining Beacon Part 2. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because I understand being on low budget and everything, why a 6-minute video might be more appealing, but I really think they should have just committed and made him more like, 18 minutes long or something like that. More like an actual anime episode, or at least, 12 minutes where they combine Part 1 and Part 2, so it's actually a more cohesive episode, even though it still wouldn't have been wholly so. It still would have been better than them standing alone. Anyway, this is Chapter 4, The First Step. Again, click here to watch the particular video that I'm going to be using for the timestamps, or again, you can always find it on RWBY or Rooster Teeth's YouTube channel under the RWBY playlist, which I will have a link to in the description of this video. But yeah, we're gonna start watching, so with that, let's get to watching. For the best synchronization, you can try to press play when I press play, so play. As always, we start off with the intro, which is fitting. I mean, I guess I can't say as always, because Chapter 1 ended with the intro, like that was different. But, yeah, we're here. I don't skip it so as not to mess up the synchronization that we have set up. It's almost over already. Watch. I mean, like, you could see in the intro that Jean is there, so he clearly, plays some sort of big part in this series, or at least Volume 1, but I imagine into Volume 2 and 3 as well. Hi! I don't know you, or... That frown... Poor guy. Did she just inhale a pancake? You should not do that. I like this guy so far. Oh. So that's Nora. I just barely watched Ken versus Terry, and people were often suggesting that Amy would go against Nora. She little baby. Like a team? Ew. Oh. Yeah. Poor Jean. Hmm. Hmm. Oh no. Oh, Jean. Oh! That was fun. That pose and everything. Oh. Oh. What do you mean you're sorry? You did that on purpose. Oh. So she did make a friend, though, Ruby did. That's nice. Yes. Okay. It's like the Naruto tuning exams, right? But given? Like, are assigned? Oh. Make eye contact with? Hmm. Fair. Okay. That's not very nice. He still has a question. Literally just being launched. How many people are gonna die at the beginning? Everyone else is all uniform and he's flipping. Poor Jean. And so ends another episode. I shall again wait for this credit bit to be over with, and then we will talk about it. Yes. This one was 7 minutes and 35 seconds long, about a minute longer than the last one. I think a minute, and 3 seconds longer. So, just to start, I did think this episode was better than the last one was. Than the last two were, in fact. Because again, while the last episode did bring up the whole initiation first step thing, it was mostly just introduction of characters. And while we did get more introduction of characters here, it actually did start us off on some sort of more plot progression thing. The issue with it was where it stopped. Like, really, this should have been the beginning of an episode, not the end of an episode, you know? Not that it should have, like, started the episode with them all standing there. Like, the way that it started was fine. The way that it got to the point of the initiation, you know, beginning was fine. It's just an issue of the length of the episodes. If I'm going to watch an anime, if I'm going to watch a show and treat it as an official anime, then I would really want the episodes to actually be episodes, you know? And an episode, it contains multiple different, you know, elements in order to be considered like a full thing. And the issue with this is they're just short enough, or they're not including enough in the same episodes where you can actually think, at least me, I cannot think of these as individual things. Like, I have to think of them as clusters. I really want to combine the last two episodes or chapters with this chapter and probably the next chapter and maybe the next chapter after that, which might bring it over around like 25 minutes. But I would rather that than have 4 episodes or chapters that were incomplete, you know, that were unfulfilling on their own. I think, from what I recall of like my brother telling me or other people online, that they get longer and more complete as the series goes on, because at the beginning I guess it was kind of all just a test, or with the low budget and not a lot of people working on it, they just felt that they should release them in smaller bits. But I feel like that was a mistake, and it could just be me that's, you know, going on and on about this, but it really affects me. I mean, it really has hit me, and so I feel that it's fair to talk about it. But yes, I feel that they did correct themselves later on and actually did have full episodes in the future, so I'm really looking forward to once it gets like that, because that'll be my biggest complaint so far out the window, because so far I do really appreciate the characters, you know? I'm not gonna say that it's like my favorite show in the world by any means, but I do genuinely appreciate the characters and how they're setting them up so far, and the interactions I find amusing and whatnot. I did really like the part where it was Pier? Was that her name? Pira? She was revealed to be like kind of the I was gonna say spokesperson, but that's not it. But you know, she was on a cereal box. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then they actually had like the box logo kind of pop up behind her, or not the logo, but you know what I mean? The box itself, like the image of it, the graphic of it, and then it just kind of fell. I thought that was amusing. I thought that was well done. It showed more of her character and of Jean's character, for that's of all places where he knows her from. I thought it was amusing. Also, I think that Jean and Pierre are going to be on a team, because we know where Weiss is going. Weiss is going to be with RWBY and Yang and Blake eventually. So, yeah. Am I looking forward to seeing how the initiation actually plays out? Yes, I am. And that's kind of the issue with how it ended here so abruptly, was that it really shouldn't have ended there. We should have actually gotten to see the initiation begin and stuff like that. But we did not. Yes, this does really remind me so far of the Chunin exams from Naruto, because even though it's been years since I saw that, like, you know, I'm a junior in college, and I last saw that when I think I was in 8th grade, you know, middle school. It's been a long time. But, you know, they go into a jungle, and they got, I don't even remember what the goal is really, but, you know, there definitely was a chance of dying there, and they were supposed to stay within their little squads and everything, and it just seems like the same kind of thing. Not to say that they were like, you know, the team of RWBY was ripping off Naruto, but there probably was, you know, that probably was an inspiration, or there were things along the same lines influencing both shows. I don't know if it's actually like based upon a real test or not, but I just had to make that, you know, comparison because it came to my mind, and, you know, speaking genuinely, I felt I had to. So yeah, but given that this was a part 1 episode, I will be posting the part 2 reaction the same day, so if you'd like to see that, click right here for the annotation, or as always, check my RWBY reactions playlist, and I'll try to have them in order, and then you can watch it freely whenever you'd like, but in order to be, you know, like, time effective for Volume 4 coming out, I'm trying to post them more quickly. And since the two clearly belong together, I am going to put them on the same day. So yes, with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!